All right. And we're live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 74 of the Multiverse show with the Multiverse bros all in here ready to go and talk about some really interesting stuff as usual. Our man James is actually not going to be able to be with us tonight. He has to sleep because he's actually going to be in a movie tomorrow. So you might see him on the big screen. We don't know. Our Caesar Cinema might be on the big screen himself. But for tonight, let's start introducing the hosts who can make it to the show on time. Let's start with The Rock, the Titan of Texas, the voice of the people, Fame Entertainment.
What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from the greatest website of all time, TICGN.com. Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse show. Yes, I was able to make it. Anchor paid me $50 to show up on time, and I took that fitting. Lego, yeah, buddy.
All right. We also got my man Undead, a.k.a. the Chief of Achievements, a.k.a. the one true King of the North. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be back on the podcast again. And Anchorman only paid me $3.50 because of exchange rates for me to show up.
Oh, $3.50. All right. And we have our Italian companion himself, the infamous Mike P. The Truth.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mike from the Inner Circle. Thank you for joining us for another fine episode of the Multiverse show. And Anchorman didn't pay me ish for showing up.
Hey, we're game sharing. You automatically get benefits. It's like I don't. You get minimum wage plus benefits. That's pretty much it.
See, I hit him with the CP tax. I had a CP tax. So.
All right, so we got some pretty cool stuff we got to get into. We got to ask the immortal question we ask every week on the show. What have you guys been playing lately? Let's start with Fame. Sir, what have you been playing?
Keeping it 100. 100 with y'all. I haven't picked up a gaming stick in 4, maybe 5 days because of work. Literally, the last thing I played was Destiny 2, and that was just like for a couple of hours. I have been getting absolutely killed at work to the point where I'm like late to this show or having to cancel my own podcast, which is every other Wednesday, the Double XP podcast. Yeah, buddy. I'm having to cancel podcast, not that because of work. So I haven't been playing anything. Hopefully that changes this week because I turned 30 in 2 days, and I got the weekend off, a 3-day weekend. So I will be gaming until my heart is content. And that'll be on Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wild, which I'm super excited about. So like I said, nothing as of late, but I'll be getting back into my gaming habits once I turn 30.
Ugh, more like Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Many Yawns.
Listen, we're not going to have this Horizon slander, sir. Because Aloy is my bae, that's my wife right there, and you're not gonna be talking down on bae like that. Like, be respectful, sir. Be respectful.
She's gonna be a monster hunter. Did you see that thing?
Yes, and that's the only reason I'm buying it on PS4.
Damn.
Actually, you know what? To be real with you, I think that's the only reason I'm buying the game. And I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. Like, I'm not BSing. I had no interest in buying the game, but when I saw Aloy, and you know what's crazy about it? Think about this, and people gonna say, "Oh, Fame, get over it." If Scalebound would have never been canceled, think about how Microsoft could have countered this and have the Xbox version been the main character from Scalebound. That would have been freaking epic. Both companies with their mainstay character, like a new mainstay character inside of Monster Hunter, and you get an exclusive character for whichever version you do. That would have been dope. That's why it goes back to how Scalebound should never been canceled.
I wish companies would do that more often. Just put, other characters as cameo appearances. Like a couple gens ago, I don't remember if it was like Soul Calibur 4, I think. Remember where the GameCube version had Link in it, and the Xbox version had Yoda, and the PS3 had Darth Vader? I thought that was pretty cool. I wish companies would do that more often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of it is licensing issues, but at the same time, yeah, it's good promotion. Like, use it. Like, this is why, like, I want Cuphead in the next Smash Bros. Because that would be such an amazing character to have in there because it would fit perfectly too. That's the best part. But like, I'd love to have more characters floating around in different games. It would be a little fun. Mix things up a little bit. But yeah, so Nick, what have you been playing, sir?
Just about done South Park. A little bit of Wolfenstein 2 in there, and made the mistake of starting Metal Gear Solid 5, which is now going to consume my life. But other than that, just the usual. And yeah, just trying not to spend money right now because there's so many damn good games out right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what about you, Mike?
I've been playing my usual Forza 7, a little bit of Destiny 2 here and there. Other than that, I did finish Tacoma, which I thought Tacoma was decent. I thought it was a little bit better than Gone Home. If you're interested in the game, you probably could wait to see if it goes on the Xbox Black Friday sale, but it was a decent game. I do think it's worth playing. And other than that, I've been playing Call of Duty World War II. I know we're going to get to that in a little bit, but that's basically what I've been doing.
Yeah, man. Let's start talking about that Call of Duty World War II since you brought it up. So what have you been thinking about this? Who's out of the panel here? Who has played Call of Duty World War II yet?
No, I don't trust Call of Duty no more. I haven't played. Yeah, I'm not. Nope. No, I plead the fifth because I don't plan on picking it up. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nick, I know Nick hasn't picked it up.
Yeah, no, I'll probably pick it up when I get paid on Friday, if things swing my way. But
listen, if Nick picks it up and he really picks it up, and I'm convinced that he's gonna play like that, I will buy it because of Nick. If he mean, play with me.
I will always say this when people's base buying games around what I buy. Do not do it. You will regret it. I am always online at weird ass times. To keep it 100, like gaming wise through the week, I maybe get an hour or two in the afternoon, maybe before I go to work. But majority of my gaming is done on the weekends between the hours of like midnight and 8 o'clock in the morning because I cannot sleep at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got my cousin Mike and I are game sharing, and I'm playing it. And I'm enjoying it. It's nice just kind of go back to basics. It's not a lot of crazy stuff, and it's like okay, good. It's just chill. I like it. It's just a nice, calm, relaxing one. Like I could see myself playing like once or twice a week and hopping on for an hour or two and playing a couple matches and going away. I could see myself doing it. It's a good time. I enjoy it. I wish there was a little more customization options, but what they do have is fine.
I kind of agree with you that I do think that it's a good Call of Duty game. I think the initial weekend that it launched, especially the first 2 days, the main thing that comes to mind is the meme from earlier this year with the black guy thinking you can't complain about it being the same old COD if you can't get into a match. The servers were pretty much a mess over the weekend. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys in the chat, how long you guys have been playing COD for, but at least since I've been playing, this is the roughest COD launch I think there's ever been since Modern Warfare 3. Like the last time I remember there being issues was Modern Warfare 3, but they had that ironed out in like a day.
Yeah, because I remember, like it was always like in at least the first night you could at least get into a match. May not be the best, but you could always get into a match like on release day. It was always prepared for you to do that. But this one was bad. Like I was up for 3 hours on launch night, and you couldn't get into a match. It would not even let you into the multiplayer.
And then, not only that, but once you got into a match, Nick, you were in our party for this. Me and Anchor were playing, and it wouldn't let you out of the multiplayer. Like there was no way to back out of the lobbies. It's like, it's not a bug, it's a feature. You have to keep playing forever.
You kept saying how much you wanted to play, how much you wanted to get into the game, and now you're here, and now you can't leave.
You wanted visceral, now you're in a never-ending war.
It's just a silly thing, and I thought it was just really funny, how crazy it's gotten. But yeah, it's just it's fun. I enjoy it. I've had a good time playing it, and it's one of those things where I wish it was a little more polished in that regard. But other than that, I've been having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, once you get into a match, it's fun. I think for the most part, the maps are well done. The guns feel pretty balanced for the most part to me, too. One thing that I would recommend, go in, if you haven't done this yet, you probably haven't noticed it, go in and check your settings under the control settings, because by default, you can't sprint to reload cancel. Now, for those of you that don't know what reload canceling is, that's where you're reloading your gun. You wait for the part of the animation where your clip just goes into the gun, and then you sprint, and it interrupts the reload, so you reload faster. Usually that was always on, but that's off now. You have to be using the airborne class and the hustle perk in order to reload cancel. So you have to manually enable that and use that specific class in order to sprint to reload cancel, which is an interesting mechanic. I'm not sure why they did that, but it's just something for you guys to be aware of if you're planning on picking this up.
Yeah. So far, like I will say, like, okay, so I tried out zombies. I tried a little campaign. It's Call of Duty campaign. It's fine. Like it's not bad. It's not great. It's Call of Duty campaign. Like you know what you're gonna get. Like this is not a surprise. I mean, yeah, I've had a good time with it. Zombies was surprising, so I started playing the zombies mode, and I'm not a big fan of zombies in general, but I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, see how it was. Literally jumped in there with a bunch of level 1s, and I think we ended on a wave 25, and we almost completed the map. Like, we almost completed the whole thing on the first try. I was like, I'm really garbage at this. I was trying to die, but my team was way too good. Like, I go to the opposite side of the map and get down. Like, just let me die. Let me die so I can go away. I have to go on a date. Leave me alone. Just let me die. Can we just fail here, please? I want my bonuses.
Now, one thing I want to talk about, and I want to talk about this because I see we got Bad Seed in the chat, and I know he's a big Call of Duty guy. I'm interested to see what he thinks about this. I think the game is good. I like the game. But most of this game, when you play it, is structured around supply drops. Now, they haven't implemented yet where you could buy COD points to get supply drops using real money. I'm sure that's going to be coming soon. And right now, there's no actual DLC weapons in the supply drops. They said it was going to be like that, at least for the launch window. But the thing that I don't like about this is when you're in headquarters, you can open up supply drops. People that are in headquarters can see what you get. And the more people that are around you to see you open your supply drop, it increases your social score and their social score. Mm-hmm. So it kind of like entices you to want to, grind for these supply drops, or once they do start charging real money, to actually spend that to get these supply drops. And that's one of the probably the main thing that's kind of like about this game for me.
Yeah. And I that one's more of like a wait and see kind of thing. Like to see how it is, but at the same time, like it is like, raised eyebrow, like we'll see how this goes. So all right. So, any other thoughts about Call of Duty before we move on?
Well, to comment on Mike's thing about it, they haven't started selling them yet, and there's no DLC guns. Just wait.
Oh yeah, I know it's coming.
It was like when Black Ops 3 came out, and Treyarch made the promise that it's only going to be cosmetics. We're not going to have DLC guns. That makes it unfair. These are only going to be cosmetic changes. And then they released the melee weapons for it, and then they were like, it doesn't do any more actual damage, though. They're technically still cosmetics. And then they started releasing DLC guns. And then they started doing the same thing with the remaster of COD 4 when they were like, oh, nope, it's just cosmetics. We're not going to make you guys pay for this.
Well, no, they were actually very specific to say, I don't remember if it was Michael Condrey or whoever that said it. They said there would be no DLC weapons within the launch window. Like they
So the
were
first-
very
Okay, no DLC weapons until the first DLC pack hits. Then afterwards, you guys are gonna
basically.
Yep. Yeah, it's just so actually, speaking of competitive shooters, so we have BlizzCon over the last weekend. We can talk about that for a little bit. The short version of it is BlizzCon happened, and there was a lot of Overwatch news that came out. And the first one, lots of Overwatch stuff. Yeah, believe it or not, Overwatch isn't dead. And so what was the first thing that came out? It was
new Overwatch map.
Yeah, new Overwatch map. What's it called?
New hero.
Well, the new map is like Blizz World or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Blizzard theme park, which will add elements of IPs from Warcraft, StarCraft, and more.
Yeah, I mean it's fine, I guess. Like I'm like, okay, this is not the coolest idea ever, but hey, it's better than nothing. I like a good theme park anyway. Good times. So, and then they had the new character Moira. Basically, she's kind of like this. I kind of like call her like Zenyatta meets Mei. Like she has like a flamethrower healing and damage kind of approach to her main heals, and then she throws orbs that kind of tag people, but they do damage or healing, but they don't stick on people as well. So like you'll shoot one down towards your team, and anyone in its close proximity will be healed, but it keeps moving. So it's kind of weird. It's more like a very passive. Well, not passive, rather. It's an active healing ability, but it's more group focused and individual focused. Like if you look at Mercy, is like a pick one, heal them up kind of character, and this was very different in that regard. So it's a cool idea. It's a cool looking character. We also got a Reinhardt video. So they did one of the little CGI videos, which was fun to watch and good little time. I liked it. Anything else? Esports, right?
There's that. There's also new Overwatch skins based on Diablo, StarCraft, and other Blizzard games that will be coming for Widowmaker, Torbjorn, Zarya, and a few others that are yet to be announced.
All right, that's pretty dope. And I think the big one was they showed off was the Overwatch League, where they're going to get more into the esports scene, but they're trying not to do it based on the league thing is not really based on it's not based like on teams. It's not like watching like an Optic or anyone else like that. This one's more focused on like actual teams, like from like, oh, this is USA versus South Korea. Like it's like a huge event, and so they actually showed it off. Like they have like their own custom skins and abilities, not abilities, but like little colors for abilities. Like whenever when Diva pops her explosion, it's not green anymore. It's whatever color your team color is.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Like, hey, this is something that's really dope, and I would actually like to see like on TV. Like this would be fun to watch, and it'd be easy to follow. Like you wouldn't have any custom skins, but it would be like no custom skins. Like, oh, I want to have my honey lemon.
Actually, an interesting thing with a lot of competitive esports, they don't allow you to use custom skins and whatnot. A lot of MOBAs and everything else, you use stock skins. Believe it or not, for competitive. I don't know why, but but Overwatch is definitely interesting. How they're doing more of a country focus. For it. So you won't necessarily be seeing the same esports teams. Like a lot of esports are dominated by the same teams or different divisions of those teams. But now you're going to see like, Team USA getting wiped on the floor by, the Koreans. It's like, it's basically like the StarCraft competitive as well. But
cool. not just that too, but like the league is going to have separate divisions and stuff. And so it's going to be like, what is it called? they not only do they have that kind of league, but it's also going to be like cities and stuff. So like there's going to be like a San Francisco team and a Raleigh team, and
it's also interesting to note too, for those that actually play ranked and are actually streamers of Overwatch. Blizzard was actually picking up streamers and whatnot based on your rank. They were actually picking up people for these events and these teams via their own ranked system, which is basically unheard of. Basically, with esports teams, traditionally you have to try out for specific teams, but Blizzard was approaching people themselves to be like Overwatch representatives and whatnot, and apparently Blizzard pays very, very well to those that play competitively. It's actually one of the few competitive leagues where the competitors are actually paid directly from the developer's pocket instead of but via sponsors and everything else. So it's kind of unique how they run it. Blizzard's definitely an interesting company in how they run their esports events and how they take care of the people that play their game. It's really interesting, especially considering how they're run by Activision technically.
Yeah, I think it's a better implementation than what, say, COD does with like the COD World League and stuff like that. Because I think what happens a lot of times like with COD is there's a disconnect between the esports guys and the casual gamers like us that just play the game to have fun, and we're not really that invested in the esports. And I think with what they're doing with Overwatch, that's a nice way to bridge the gap between the two, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really interesting. And I think it's really hard for me to pick a team, like a professional esports team. Like it's really hard to root for somebody, but like when you go for like broad general stuff, like if they were to say like, oh, this is Team Dallas, Texas, and it's like, oh yeah, this is my home team. Like, yeah, I gotta support them.
I cannot wait to see the Greensboro Overwatch team.
No, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. I'll tell you that much. But there will probably be a Raleigh team, honestly.
Yeah.
Or a Charlotte team. Yeah, most likely Raleigh. Now that I think about it, because there's a lot of developers out of Raleigh. So yeah, that'll probably happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting to see how they're developing, and they're pushing esports further than a lot of other people are. And it's really interesting is how focused they are on the game itself, but also focused on the competitive side. Because there's a lot of games that either are very focused on their casual audience and ignore the competitive side to their game, or it's the opposite, and they care too much about the competitive and they don't care about the casual player. And it's just interesting to see how Blizzard has balanced it. I think they've done a fantastic job with just about every aspect of Overwatch, and Blizzard continues to prove why they're one of the top developers, because they don't release unpolished anything, basically.
Yeah, that's right. So, brief side topic that we normally are go-to. We have to have an entertainment topic for this tonight. We actually had some big major castings in the upcoming Shazam movie. So, and I'll talk about Shazam in a little bit. But so they actually had the casting, and they had two big people. One, they got a person for Captain Marvel himself. I'm trying to make sure I get his name right. It's the guy who – there's a show called Chuck on NBC back maybe like 8 years ago, more, maybe 10 years ago. The show was called Chuck. I only remember it because it came on before Surface, because I used to watch Surface as my show when I was in middle school. But there was a show called Chuck, and it was like some really lame, like, oh, some random Joe Schmo turns out to be a huge CIA asset and doesn't really know it. He just has all this information stuck in his head. Like, it's a really dumb plot. Like, but it had like a ton of seasons. But they got they actually got the guy who's going to be playing Captain Marvel himself. His name is Zachary Levi. If you go take a look at him, I'm sure there's lots of pictures now. It looks like who's the guy from The Office that isn't absolutely insane? The guy who's supposed to be like the guy you relate to. I can't remember. Jim, yeah, that's what it is. He looks like Jim, except not Jim. We're just gonna call him not Jim. So I mean, it's like, okay, cool, I guess. Like I have no strong opinions about him. Like, he wasn't my pick. I didn't even think about him at all. But I'm not like, oh, this is horrible. How dare he? So the other guy, they also, this is just news today. They just cast who's going to be Billy Batson. And what's his name again? They just cast, oh yeah, some kid named Asher Angel is going to be Billy Batson. And his big, the funny thing about it, to me at least, is that this kid is actually a Disney Channel star. And it's funny because Marvel's owned by, well, Disney's owned by Marvel. Well, other way around, sorry. Marvel's owned by Disney, and Disney just gave someone to DC. So I just thought that was kind of weird, but let me pull up his IMDb here.
I'm doing that right now.
And this is, admittedly, this is something nobody cares about except me.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, nobody cares who this kid is.
He's done 3 things.
Yeah.
Disney show called Andy Max since 2017, so this year. He did Jolene in 2008, and he did I think it's a documentary. It's called Hate from a Distance. In 1963, a boy witnesses his father's hatred for a black family living on his land.
Mm.
So those are the 3 things he's done in total. So a Disney show, a really, really dark movie, and
Yeah.
I don't know what Jolene is.
I never heard. Apparently he was 5, so we'll give him a pass. You didn't really get a choice. But yeah, it's a funny little thing. And I have no strong opinions about any of the people cast in here, so no one really cares either way. But we'll see. Over time, it will matter. Eventually. So.
But my question is, who asked for a Shazam movie? Like, really?
I did.
Well,
I did.
besides you. Like, I saw, like, whenever there's a new superhero movie announced on Twitter, Twitter usually blows up. Literally, the only person I saw tweeting about it was you and Tony Polanco. That was it.
Yep. And Tony's tweet was, "Why isn't Anchorman tweeting about this?"
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I'll briefly go over why Shazam is my favorite superhero. By the way, this is why I care. The thing is, it's kind of complicated. Captain Marvel, I'll give you, this is the Cliff Notes version. Captain Marvel was a character that came out like in 1942. It was basically these 2 guys, and they're like, hey, yeah, let's make a character who's, is a superhero, but we're gonna do something different. Everyone has superheroes. You have adults who are superheroes, and they have sidekicks who are children. What if we had a child who's a superhero? And he's not a sidekick, he's his own superhero. And so they said, like, okay, well, we'll age him up, apparently, whenever he switches to being Captain Marvel. And the thing is with Captain Marvel, you got to understand, it's such an innocent, pure kid. It's this 10-year-old orphan. He's living on his own, doing his own thing, selling newspapers, trying to get some money. He's working himself out. He's working the street, trying to stay alive. He's doing his thing. Great, good role model kid. And he's not bitter. He realizes the situation. He's making the best of it. He gets picked by this wizard called Shazam, and he gets blessed with all these powers. And it's basically like the word Shazam is representative of like different powers and who he gets those powers from. So like Z in Shazam stands for Zeus, and he gets the power of Zeus. So he gets like lightning and magic and stuff like that. But then you got like the endurance of Achilles, and he's able to go on in without being tired, and it's stuff like that. It's the strength of Hercules, and he's getting bits and pieces from stuff like the wisdom of Solomon. It's a fun little deal, and they have good characters around it. Black Adam being one of the better villains, and just it's a fun time, man. And what was so funny about it is that he actually got really, really popular. He actually was the first superhero to have his own radio show, and live action TV show. Yeah, I mean, like, he beat Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. He had his own show, he had his own deal before anybody else. He exploded. And it got so bad, DC was really worried that he was going to eclipse Superman, and he did. He eclipsed him and was making 3 times as much money as Superman was. And so DC, doing their shady stuff, they took Fawcett Comics to court to sue for copyright infringement. Like, but Captain Marvel is just a copyright of Superman. And they made like superficial stuff. And the court, over years of legal battles, eventually the court's like, you can't copyright a superpower. It doesn't work that way. Having super strength is not a copyrightable offense. And basically, but during that time, whenever they took him to court, they couldn't sell any Captain Marvel comics. And so during that time, a lowly group called Timely Comics had just renamed themselves to a small little name called Marvel Comics. And they said, it's a real shame that we're called Marvel Comics and we don't have the rights to Captain Marvel. That's kind of sad. So what they did is whenever the book was taken off shelves, Marvel Comics walks in there and like, well, we're gonna make our own Captain Marvel, and we'll take that name. So when Fawcett Comics comes back, they can't use that name out of confusion. So they changed the comic name to Shazam when it did come back. But by then they had lost so much money. Actually, DC ended up buying them out. So they took him to court, sued him. DC lost the lawsuit, but because of the legal costs, the Fawcett Comics went out of business because they just couldn't hold up. And I like Captain Marvel as a constant reminder of that, and also just because he's a damn good character. So that's why I like Captain Marvel. So. Anyway, something other completely different. Let's talk about Xbox One X. This thing is launching tomorrow. Who's getting on board? Fame?
No, bro.
No.
Listen. I actually made a video not too long ago, letting people know that I will not be buying the X day one for a couple of reasons. Number one, this time of year, man, like with my daughter's birthday and Christmas and my wedding anniversary, it feels so weird to spend money on myself, right? So that's one big reason. Number two, I really want to wait until next year till I get a themed console. When I bought my Xbox, my original Xbox, the OG, day one, 500, you know how jealous I was when they brought out that Halo 5 version? I was jealous. I was pissed. I got this ugly black box, and I got that console looked beautiful. So, you know, right now I have my white Xbox One S. I have a blue Xbox One S. I want to wait until they have something besides that black one. I'm waiting for that first theme one. And we all know Microsoft is on point with their themes. That's what they really have going for them, their themes. So if it's Halo 6 or whatever new game they might be trying to tout out, if they have a theme for it and it's nice, I'll copy it then.
All right, fair enough. That's what I was gonna do with the Switch, and then I have no willpower. It just kind of happened, man. I didn't plan on it. So, yeah. All right. What about you? Well, Nick, I know you're not doing it immediately either, but what's your deal?
Well, I've got a 6-month plan with my wife on what we're buying and in what order. So, I'm kind of in the same boat as Fame. Like, I don't want to buy the day one edition because I feel like with all the games that got dropping spring, there's going to be something. I don't know what it is yet, but there's going to be a themed console. And I generally try to wait out for a themed console because they're usually a little bit better, or you can get one with a bigger internal hard drive, which with the X is not going to matter.
It comes bundled with a game.
Yeah. Like having something day one is cool. And if I could have afforded to, I would have. But I ended up doing that charity run, and I actually ended up donating all of my Xbox One X to that charity run. So my Xbox One X fund is actually sitting at 0, but I absolutely have no regrets about it. I'll pick it up in March when I get my bonus. But my wife wants the PSVR for Christmas, so that'll take a chunk of money out of me. So like the One X is worth it. It's definitely worth it. I'm sitting on the OG Xbox One. Mine doesn't even have the casing on it right now because it's running by Frankenstein magic. So I definitely will be getting a One X eventually, but just not at this moment because of financials.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, mine actually shipped today. I'm getting it on Wednesday. So my story about the Xbox One X at Gamescom, when they announced the pre-orders went live, I tweeted about this. I pre-ordered the Project Scorpio edition. Excuse me. And I was lucky enough to get a pre-order. So I was like, all right, cool. So last week I went on, like, if you go into the Amazon app, they do like a automated chat thing on there. So I went on that and it said, your order is going to ship on the 7th. You'll get it by November 9th. So I was like, okay, cool. Then I started reading all these tweets about how Amazon was messing up people's orders for the Xbox One X. So I do the same thing later on today. And lo and behold, it said that it's not going to ship until December 12th, and I wouldn't get it until December 14th. So I'm like, all right, this is BS. So I went on GameStop. I was able to get a pre-order from GameStop, canceled the Amazon pre-order, and like I said, it shipped today. I got the notification. So I will have my Xbox One X on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it for a couple reasons. We are thinking about picking up a 4K TV over Black Friday if the deals are good enough. So I think I would get a lot out of it. And even without that, a lot of the games that are in my backlog, games like Titanfall 2, Elite Dangerous, Witcher 3, those games are going to be Xbox One X enhanced. So I do have a lot of games that I'm playing now or have to play that are going to take advantage of the console in some way. So I am looking forward to it.
All right, good to hear. Yeah, I'm in a boat where, for two reasons, I'm not picking it up, at least immediately. So I can't say I'm not going to entirely because things happen to be way too ridiculous. Ridiculous amounts where like things just happen. So I can't promise anything, and I just can't do it. And so, like I said, I can't say I'm not going to get it, but I mean, like, stuff happens, and I'm like, my money's tight right now. I got stuff I got to worry about, so I'll get it whenever I get it, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I guess just gotta wait. But yeah, because people are excited, seeing all the articles come out. Everyone's getting real pumped, and I'm like, I'm happy for them, real happy for them. In the way that I'm not gonna get one. Kind of happy, but
I'm excited for people who are buying it. Like I said, I posted on Twitter today, like I'm not buying my day one, but I'm still like legitimately excited for people. And I know it's weird to be excited, that, hey, I'm excited for you to play some of my plan, but like I could get one. I'm choosing not to, but I'm legitimately excited for this console to find, because we've been hearing about it for over a year,
almost 2 years.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for it to finally be out. I'm excited for people to be playing it. And I'm excited for this phase to be over with. So Microsoft will have no excuse. They can finally shift everything to software, because now you have the hardware. Don't tell me the next hype thing will be the next Xbox. Like, you can't.
I was gonna say, the article came out today that Phil Spencer came out and said that they have hardware and they fixed a lot of the issues people had with the original Xbox One, and going forward they're looking to acquire studios and start development. I don't think you're gonna see a huge influx of things on this generation, but I definitely think that going forward, Microsoft, if they adopt the similar plan to Sony, where they have the really good high-powered console, and they have the games to back it up, I think it's going to be a very competitive market in the next couple of years.
And I will say one thing I've seen that people are saying now, it's like it's too late for them to start focusing on their first party now. It's too late and starting studios. Like, it's going to take 3 to 4 years. It's like, guys, you don't think they've been working on it already?
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's the same.
maybe not making new studios, but yeah, they've been working on something.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with people that didn't realize that when they were like, "Oh, I can't believe that Phil Spencer would dump so much money into Quantum Break." I'm sitting there going, "You do realize that project was greenlighted by Matric like years ago." Like most of the Xbox exclusives we saw in the first year or two were still from the like 360 era of development. The games that are starting to hit stride now are the games that have started to, and we're going to see more going forward. Like spring is definitely not going to be bad. I really wish though, and like I know Sony gets a lot of flack for it, but I wish Microsoft would kind of give a roadmap to what their game plan is.
Yes.
I know someone in the chat was talking about this too. I hate hearing things announced too soon. Like, I feel like The Last of Us 2, they didn't need to show anything because we know it's being worked on. We know it's coming. And the trailer really didn't, like, it got me hyped for it, but it's still so far down the road that it really doesn't matter. But I kind of wish Microsoft would do this because I want to know what the roadmap is for Xbox, because past spring of this year, they haven't really clarified what the game plan is for summer or holiday. Like, yeah, we're probably going to have a Forza Horizon game. But like, they need to, like, if you want people to buy your console and invest in your ecosystem, people want to see what they're going to be buying for the next year.
Now, see, here's the thing. Microsoft, unlike Sony, shows games once a year. What I love about Sony will show new games throughout the year. Paris Games Week, PSX, E3, whatever. They constantly got, if it's a convention, Sony is showing some games. So Microsoft shows games once a year at E3. I know people are tired of hearing wait for E3, and I'm tired of hearing wait for E3. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about E3. But if this E3 comes around and they don't show us coming for Xbox, I will lose what faith I have left, for real. Because you have to begin to show. Phil said last year, we got stuff that's 2-3 years away. This E3 coming up, you better show them. You have to show them. And that's still 2-3 years away, better not be Gears 5.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's there's part of me that doesn't believe that they can't read social media and understand that people don't want to see Halo 6, Gears 5, and the same stuff peddled out year after year after year. But then you start reading comments from people like Shannon Loftus, and then I sit there and go, damn, they might actually not be as aware as they could be.
I just wish that they would give their studios more creative freedom. And the example that I always give for this is Guerrilla Games, because, you know, they spent years making more or less mediocre first-person shooters with Killzone, and then Sony gave them free reign. They like, you know what, make the game that you want, and they made Horizon Zero Dawn. While I may not personally care for it, I can't deny that, you know, it is a good game. I just don't personally like it, but that's the example I always use. Like, instead of making another Forza Horizon game, I would love to see Playground Games make a car combat game. Like, even something like that would allow them to spread their wings a little bit, so to speak.
I want to see that game the Coalition was working on before they got...
Yes, Shanghai.
Yeah.
I need it. I need it now.
Wait a minute, what?
Shanghai.
What is that?
That was what. Remember that the time that they were still Black Tusk before they were called the Coalition.
Oh, I don't remember. I remember.
I don't remember that.
No, they had
I don't remember that game they were working on.
Yeah, no, they had.
Mike, you were a PlayStation fanboy back then, so you probably don't realize it.
No.
So
no, that was it was a game called Shanghai, and like, because I remember I was following them. I was following the creation of Black Tusk when it happened initially, and they were hiring people from all over. They were doing like from all these different franchises. They got some people from Call of Duty. They got some people from Splinter Cell, some guys from Need for Speed. Like, they were picking people from all over. I was just like, wow, like what kind of game could these guys be making? I was just trying to figure it out. And so like Shanghai was like supposedly the title, and like we don't really know for sure if that was the title, but that was the supposed title for it. And like it was supposed to be like this okay, imagine like GTA heists, except a little more single player focused, and you're gonna be able to do like you're gonna like go scale buildings and do crazy stuff. It really was not too much known about it. But
what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be almost like a Payday 2 heist game, except it was going to have parkour elements. It was supposed to play like the old school Chinese action films is what it was supposed to play like.
Yeah. Not like Payday You and Me fame, where it's like, oh, we're just dicking around.
Dude, I miss playing Payday back.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
You remember when we took down that was it not the jewelry store, but the diamond store? And we did it where we took down every single person.
Yes, it was beautiful.
And like we killed nobody. No alarms were tripped. It was perfect. Beautiful.
You know what, Anchor?
Best thing ever.
One day we need to get back on Payday. This
Payday 3 comes back. Payday 3. I'm all down.
All right, bet. Everybody in this podcast better get that game because
I will too, because I've been playing Payday 2 relentlessly a couple of weeks ago. Me and my friend did a whole weekend on it.
Why you ain't tell me, GC? You be playing games.
Tell us. You don't even know how to heist.
I knew you guys played it on 360. I didn't realize you guys had on.
No, we picked up an Xbox One too.
I never played it, but if you guys want to run it, I'll run it with you.
Yeah,
I got it digitally.
Let's run it this weekend.
All right, I'm down.
So back to the original topic of giving studios freedom, I 100% agree with Mike about this, because a perfect example of this, like Horizon Zero Dawn is a perfect example. But like when everyone was like, "Oh, Sucker Punch is making a new game for Sony," everyone's like, "Oh, it's just another Infamous game, yay!" And there was like no hype for it. And then they released that trailer, and everyone's like, "This is an open world samurai game. I'm in."
And that's the thing. And that's what I'm talking about, because these studios that Microsoft has, 343, Coalition, Rare, these are talented developers. And they need to be given room to grow. I mean, they're sitting on all these IPs with Rare. Where is my new Battletoads game?
Nobody wants to play Battletoads, okay?
No, you don't want to play Battletoads.
Nobody wants to play Battletoads. It's just a one-off game. Everyone was like, "Oh, that was a great game."
Anchor's an asshole.
Yeah, that's my motto, man. Everything you love is garbage.
Well, this is coming from the guy who's hyping Shazam, so like I don't know what.
Hey, man, you gotta get on this Shazam hype.
This is the guy Game of the Year, Snake Pass,
I'm allowed to like Snake Pass in Shazam, okay?
Listen, stop white knighting Snake Pass.
Snake Pass is Game of the Year quality, man. More so than Persona 5.
Oh my God. Someone get this man. Okay, this has been episode 74 of the Multiverse show. I hope everyone had a great time. We will now be taking interviews for Anchorman V2's position. Lord.
Oh, God.
Seriously,
but yeah, guys. We are getting kind of close to the end of the year, so I guess that's a good kind of segue point. Like, okay, let's do it this way. Yeah, out of just immediate gut check game of the year for you, other than your official pick. I was trying to get more of a feeling around it. Like for me, I can't say Wolfenstein 2 is for game of the year just yet because that's my de facto one right now. But what's your runner up game of the year? Immediate gut reaction. What is it, Nick? What is it?
South Park.
What's your South Park?
Yeah,
that's your runner up game of the year.
Right off the bat, yes, sir.
All right, Mike.
Resident Evil 7.
All right. Fame.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
As a runner-up.
Oh, that's your runner-up.
Yeah, South Park, baby. Come on, man. South Park game of the year. I told y'all this.
You cheating on Alloy?
I know, but I told y'all South Park was game of the year when it was delayed 14 years ago. I told y'all. Aloy's still gonna be bait. She's gonna always be number one in my heart. But
South Park be number 2 for real.
Yeah. Yeah. Cartman is my guy.
Oh man, you'd rather do it with Cartman. All right, you heard it here, folks. I mean, hey, I didn't approach him, but yeah. So. All right. Me, what do I? That's a tough one. As a runner-up, honestly, I put Observer on there. Observer's pretty dope. I didn't think I was gonna like Observer, but I did.
Observer. What the?
Observer. You remember that game Layers of Fear that came out in game preview?
Yeah.
This is their sequel as a studio. That has nothing to do with Layers of Fear, but this is essentially their sequel.
Thank Lord, Layers of Fear made me regret having children.
Yep, I'm done with the. What was it? There's that part when you like have the whole child thing going on.
Yeah,
I tweeted out like this is why like people don't want to have children. Like just show this to your significant other. They won't stop talking about having children.
Okay, I'm looking at it on the store right now. Okay.
It's such a cool game because it's like Blade Runner except better than the Blade Runner movie.
Well, that's not hard.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, it's a fun time. I've only played a little bit of it, but it's really dope, man. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, it's more like it's people trying to do different types of horror. Like everyone, they were talking about like the blooper team was talking about how everyone's doing horror. They're always doing the same type of horror, and it's always action survival horror. It's always use your limited ammo or no ammo to run away from something scary, and like we want to do something different. We want to do observational horror. We want it to be like you're afraid of not any individual thing, but you're afraid of the world and the environment behind it. You're afraid of the implications. Like when you realize someone's actually a cannibal and they never explicitly tell you, but you realize by reading up the area around you that someone's a cannibal. Like that's their kind of stuff. That's the kind of horror they want to get into. And I was like, I can get down with that. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, there's a lot more physical horror in the video game industry. There's not a lot of psychological horror in the video game industry as of right now. There's some really good ones. I know I was playing my friend's PSVR, and the Paranormal Activity VR game is a whole lot of no thank you. There's a lot of different ones. I'm definitely gonna download Observer though because that looks really good. I'm watching the trailer right now.
Yep, it's pretty dope. But yeah, I definitely put that on a mention list. So, all right, that's pretty dope. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we head out?
Powdered sugar and escorts.
Not sure.
If you want to know the rated R version of that, just watch it on double XP. Watch it on double XP. We can keep it rated R. We keep it rated R there.
Yeah, man. So, all right. Also, I want to give a shout out to our guys at NLG for doing a good show last night. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was a fun show to watch. Our buds over there at NLG were keeping it down. Got mad respect for those guys. Keep up the good work.
Speaking of NLG, I'll actually be corrupting the mind of Mike this Wednesday on the XP podcast.
Oh no!
The corruption process has begun.
Oh no!
Hey, I had Undead on last week. I didn't corrupt his mind too much. He's still the same old asshole from Canada.
No, see the thing was, the thing is with Undead is that he was already corrupted. We just reformed him for Multiverse.
These are facts. These are facts.
Yeah, man. I like you guys. It's nice to have a good group of guys you can trust and tell the truth.
I've got to be brutally honest. Of all the podcasts I've done like 5 or 6 different ones now. I always feel most at home here for sure, and I have to love the fact that at no point has there ever been any drama between any of us. And it's just been wonderful working with y'all. Like, I disagree with Mike on like 98% of things, but I don't think we've ever said a bad word to each other about it.
No,
I love that, even though he's an asshole.
Hey, now.
Yeah, I don't know, I like you guys. It's good people.
Listen, man. Just because you don't agree with me that Ben-Hur is the greatest game of all time.
Do you run that Twitter account? No,
he doesn't.
No, I don't.
I know who does.
Who on this podcast runs that account? Because
it's not us. It's not us.
I think I have an idea of who does.
I know who it is.
We'll talk about it after the show. I think I have an idea of who it is.
You can have an idea, but I know who it is. Yeah, man. Ben-Hur, that was a great joke. I love that. But yeah, guys.
I swear that's one of the most played games on Xbox. That was on the top download list for the longest time. I'm like, why?
But you know what? When they made that game, it was like, it's free, and they knew who they were targeting. They were targeting people that wanted easy gamer score.
That's a whole market. Like, if you go through the Xbox store, look at games that are around between $5 to $9. Look at the rarity of the achievements, and if the good majority of them will have 80% completion rate, because there's guys like me, Maka, Rand, who will sit there and go, "That's $5. That's 1,000 gamer score." Like, how to tell if someone at any point is an achievement nut is if anyone spent over $30 for that Avatar game that was on 360 that you could get all 1,000 gamer score in 3 minutes.
What?
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah, no, literally all you had to do, it had like 10 achievements, and all you had to do was do a 50-hit combo, and you 100% of the game.
That's nuts.
Wow.
My one friend bought it, and we all passed it around. Like, it got passed around between like 10 different people for, yeah. Not a proud moment.
Yeah. I have to take that Chief of Achievements title back.
Hey now.
All right, guys. So we'll wrap things up here to our outros. So let's start with you, Fame. Where can good people find you at?
Yo, make sure you guys check me out on the Twitter at FameENT2K. Don't forget, if you go to my channel, you can watch live the Double XP podcast, or you can watch the very next day. It will be rated G on this very channel here. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing this video right now. Make sure you guys are following everybody on the panel, and enjoy Happy X Day tomorrow. I hope you guys are enjoying your consoles. Well, I hope you enjoy any console you own, long to a gamer. But if you're buying the Xbox One X tomorrow, enjoy yourself. Don't let people on the internet make you feel bad about spending that $500. If you have an extra console, go ahead and let me have that, fam.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Help some of us out. Like, we do some work. Be nice.
No, Lord. I just want to talk about the fact that, everyone knew I was doing the achievement run. I did the charity run. I was also doing the Xbox One X run. I racked up about 20,000 gamer score, and I was feeling pretty good about that because that was in 3 weeks. I racked up 20,000. The winner, the guy who got the top and won the Xbox One X, had 121,000 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
I wasn't even close.
So much for sleeping, eating, doing whatever else you got to do.
I can't. Like, that's honestly a Gatorade bottle beside the couch. Like, you ain't even taking leaks.
Here's my question. How much money did this man spend to get these games to play?
You could have just
that's
bought
like 100.
an X.
That's 120 games.
To give you an idea, the amount I sunk about $100 on games to get about almost 20,000, and that was
could have just bought an X outright.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
easily.
like that's what I'm wondering. Like, dude, you spent 100. Like you, well, we're assuming he spent, but we're saying let's just say he spent on average $10 a game. You spent that much money. Like you had 120 games for $10. That's $1,200.
Now, there was also a rule that Xbox didn't put in the competition. They didn't put a limit on how new your profile could be. So basically, if you owned all these old games that were easy to complete, and they included backwards compatible games and 360 achievements. So if you started a new profile, you could easily do it. But I think the guy who won it, he had like 836,000 gamer score or something. So congratulations to that guy. I just I can't do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right, Nick. Where can good people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter for horrible video game opinions.
And they are horrible.
This man. I'm gonna buy Snake Pass and not play it just to spite you now.
Oh, dude, you're gonna. No, I'm dead serious. Snake Pass is a joy.
Actually, tell you what. I will pick up Snake Pass on Friday and I will stream it on Saturday.
All right, dope.
All right. You can find. I'm in the process of making a Twitch. I'm trying to get my internet moved right now. I can't stream right now because my internet's still in my old apartment, which is in the floor below me. And the internet company's giving me the runaround right now. So my signal strength is a little wacky. So I can't do it.
Canada. Blame Canada. Oh, my bad. I thought it was singing it.
No, it's Blame Fame.
Oh,
that's a whole hashtag. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, all the things. And yeah.
All right, Mike.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Multiverse Show. Love being part of this show, as always, with you guys, a.k.a. the Wolf Pack, except for Undead, to which I say, I'm not your friend, buddy.
Got your pal, friend.
Boy.
Anyway, you guys can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, Twitter, wherever at Mike P. The Truth.
Yeah, all right. And this is Anchorman V2. You can find me on everything under the sun under Anchorman V2 because I'm consistent, I'm loyal, I'm dependable. It's always going to be Anchorman V2. It's always consistent. I have that synergy going on. I don't have to worry about
that. Wasn't always there.
What's the difference?
That V2, it used to be just straight up Anchorman. So don't say it lasts forever.
No, I'm just saying, at least I'm consistent. If I'm going to have something, it's going to be all the way through.
So you can find Anchorman V2 on Grindr for your own interest.
Hey, man.
Wow. That's what you get when you put the whole comment. See? Look at it.
All right, guys. So we'll be wrapping it up here. Thanks, guys, for showing up to episode 74 of the Multiverse Show, the greatest show on Mondays. We are out of here, boys.